Alright guys, so this one here, it worked when it was in that case over there, but it doesn't seem to want to work right in this case. I don't know what the issue is, so we're just going to go ahead and pull it, I guess. And, you know, that board there works. It has a similar processor. So I think there's just some kind of problem with this board, and I think it's kind of power supply related, but it's not this power supply. So this came from a broadcast station, and there's two of them that look like that. They have, you know, handles on them, and they all say Phoenix. The little cute little doors on them. Anyway, they're pretty nice, I guess, but I wanted it in a tower because I already have the one down there. So I thought this would be really nice to put in this case, and you know, it had the capability to run like a ton of RAM and all this other stuff. But something's not right, so I can't get it to boot up. I've spent a lot of time screwing around with it. I noticed that the main boot screen doesn't show up anymore. That was like, you know, the company's name, ProRax or whatever. And I don't know if that's because I reset the BIOS or what. I've tried everything. So the only thing I haven't tried is to replace the BIOS battery. I mean, it might be bad. I don't know. I'm not even sure. I've never even dealt with that. What happens if you remove the BIOS battery? Is the computer like no good until you like try and flash it with some other device? I mean, like, I can't remember exactly how that works with the BIOS. Anyway, I'm gonna pull this board out of here, and I'm gonna pull that board out of there, and I'll put it in this one. We've got the Windows computer running over there. This one was supposed to be a Linux Windows machine, and so far that has not happened because I couldn't get it to work. I put Linux on it. It worked for like a day, and then it just didn't want to start. So I thought, well, maybe it's the hard drive. So I started to copy the hard drive onto something else, which was unsuccessful. So I figured, yep, definitely hard drive. All right, let's just grab this other hard drive and we'll start from scratch. And we tried that today, and we struggled, and finally, like, I was able to get it to boot up, and then I started to install Linux. I got Linux installed on it, and then I decided, okay, well, let's put Windows on it since we have a product key and all that. And so that started to install, and then I couldn't get it to boot again. It's just, you know, lots of issues. But I interrupted the installation of Windows because I didn't want to create an account. I didn't want to give them a phone number. I made the mistake of having it hooked to the internet while I was doing the installation, which is apparently a big no-no with Windows. Otherwise, they're going to try and do all sorts of silly stuff. So I finished the installation of Windows on the exact same board that's in there, and it worked fine. And I disconnected the internet, and it worked fine. So then I tried to get this to boot up into the BIOS to load the defaults and all that. Never could get it to boot up again. Tried a different video card, tried a bunch of different things. Tried resetting the BIOS, tried changing the RAM. Nothing. So I'm pretty sure it's got an intermittent failure or a failure. And either way, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't need two of the exact same board. I've got one over there that'll work. In fact, I don't even need three of these, so I really only need that one over there. What I just need to do is have two, one over there and one over there. And the other one's just basically going to be for the printer and for music. So it's not real complicated. And then I got to get this crap off of my desk here. It was fun operating it tonight, but I realized what a pain in the butt it can be when you don't know where the hell you're at on the band, and you don't know who the hell you just worked because you can, you know, trying to hear them through the noise. But anyway, it was fun. So I'll have to pull the processor and all that out of here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and swap the processor into that board because that one, the onboard graphics doesn't seem to be working. And I'm wondering if it's processor related because that can also be a contributing issue to towards the processor not having onboard graphics. Not all the Intel processors support onboard graphics. Let me get over here and get my fancy Snap-on screwdriver. You know, I really do like two things that Snap-on makes. Their screwdrivers and their wrenches. Their sockets, not so much, because they kind of get walled out. Specifically, like where the thing goes in. They use them with impacts and stuff like that when you're not supposed to. But, yeah, I've got some Snap-on air guns and stuff like that, too. They're really, really, really high CFM, air hungry. And I don't work in automotive shop anymore, and I hope I never do. So, you know, I don't have a big air compressor here, so they don't run real well. And what happens is I end up having to use the Ingersoll Rand, or I've got a Harbor Freight one that's kind of a copy of an Ingersoll Rand 231C. And it seems to run the best on a crappy air compressor. The Snap-on ones, man, they just suck. I mean, they're really good if you're at a shop, though, man. Let me tell you. Real good. So we're just getting screws out of here. Pull the RAM out of here. And so we can get this one right here. Those are really... I'm not sure how I got that one originally. So I think the guy might have tested this board and he might have known there's something wrong with this board. Or maybe he didn't. Or maybe somebody else did. Either way, I think they pulled it out of service for a reason. You know? Well, these aren't that old. They're 2015. And, oh well. I need to get my smaller screwdriver or something else that I can get in here. Get to this one that's kind of trapped in here. There we go. This case is kind of weird. It has like a locating pin right here instead of a screw. So you have to lift it up out of there. So I cannot find anything at all wrong with this. I have seen issues with the RAM. I've seen issues with swelled up capacitors. There's not a whole lot on this board, actually. I'm kind of curious why this wind bond chip is removable. This is a USB chip regulator, I guess, for voltage. Said the other board might be better anyways because it's got like an overclock feature. I wonder what the hell these are. It's really strange. You can see right here, there's a lack of some particular chip. Fan Expert 2 Plus. Interesting. So, there could be a problem with this board. Simply just because it was missing one of these, and maybe these guys determined something was wrong with it, and they removed the pin that I replaced. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull this one out, And hopefully I can just kind of swap chips, swap board, and go ahead and thermal grease will be all good. And so what I'm going to set this right on the garbage can where it belongs. I'm going to go get this one here, I'm going to get it out of there and put it in here. We'll be right back. So I guess I could go ahead and film this. You know, it's not no big deal. Except for me losing all the screws everywhere. We got to get them picked up and find out where they all are. There's a few in there. The bad thing about it is this case has like a split in it, which makes it kind of tricky if you get something stuck in between it. Alright, I think I got everything. So basically we just have a case over here with a power supply in it. So now we need to grab this other one here and okay. Now this one here is actually already all set up. Technically, it's all set up. So what I actually might just do for now is to go ahead and pull this processor out of here, okay? And we'll do the same thing with this one. That way I can quickly transfer that. Okay. Let me flip this around so I have my orientation correct, because this is exactly how I want it to go back in there. And the paste looks, I guess, okay. These chips are crazy. So are these exactly the same? Okay, we got all that there. Yep. It's crazy. How in the hell did we get to the point where we're at today with computer chips? Like, I swear to God, it's got to be like some alien technology. It's just, you know, we went like from like transistors to like crazy stuff like this. Like pretty much overnight. This doesn't seem quite right. It's like not maybe the same. These might not be transferable. So this is a lga1151, and this is something else. It's got to be. Now, it doesn't say over here on this one. I don't see it. I totally see the notches on the side of that one that don't even fit in the same spot. There's notches right here. The notches on the other one are up higher. Apparently, these chips are not interchangeable. They're not upgradable. That's what it's looking like anyway. So lga1151. I don't know. See the notches? They're right there. They're not in the right spot. So when you go put this in here, you can't. It won't go. Yeah. So much for that, guys. All right. Well, we just learned something else today, I guess. I'm like, wow, they're both Intels. Yeah, okay. All right. Make sure put everything absolutely in here perfect. Okay. Okay, we got that one in there. Okay. I'm not seeing the marking on this one for whatever the chipset is. I'll have to look up the board, but they're obviously not the same. Okay. I thought for sure it said on here. So this board is from like 2011, and the other one is from 2015. Nowhere in here does it say what it is, does it? It says lga1155. lga1151. So apparently those two chips are a slightly different socket. Okay, I gotta figure out which way I had this prior to this. Ain't that. I forgot. This stupid one can't go into the plug the same way. Anyway. Alright. So that would be the fan swap, I guess. That's what we're doing, a fan swap. So this board here is, I guess, no good. How many USBs does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 USBs. 4 sockets. This one actually has more SATAs, more other stuff. So technically, it is kind of a better board, but anyway, they're both i5 processors, but apparently, yeah, this is what we're stuck with because I can't change it. So, lga1155 is not the same as the lga1155 or whatever the hell. Bummer deal, guys. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to put the better chip in here and blah, blah, blah. So now I need to look for a board that has that other i5 chip, I guess. Or something. I don't know. So, anyway, this board here is what I want to put in the other one, but we're going to run it like this, make sure everything's okay. There's a hard drive up in there, and it's got Linux on it, so I need to pull this one. I'll swap it with one of the other ones later on and hook it to the monitor and the keyboard and everything, just to make sure it all works right. But I'm going to put some RAM in it, and I'm going to need to go on Amazon and order some RAM. This one could do 32 gigabyte. I think that one was capable of 64, but since it doesn't work. But we do have the other board. It's exactly the same board. I read a lot of bad reviews about this board, so I guess it makes sense. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. I'm done. I got this one put in here. I'll test it tomorrow. We'll catch you guys later. It's getting late.